Yes. Yes, yeah.
Oh, it's cool. I thought you wanted it.
So yeah, let me start. Wait, can someone start a Google Doc?
Yeah, I can do it.
And then wait, can I? Was I sharing my screen or not?
No, you're not.
No, not yet. Okay, that's fine. Then perfect. So then,
Go ahead, or
can you? Did you share it in the?
no, I haven't. I haven't yet.
Can you share it in the Meet? Right. Then the first thing I will mention is the new feature that kind of saved my ass right now. Dapper released a new feature in the developer dashboard, which is error logs, right? So somewhere in the debugging process, there's going to be Texas. I will Texas.
Nice.
Yep. Nice, thank you. Refresh this now. So somewhere on this list, I'm going to add this feature, which is the Dapper developer dashboard error logs. This is to check backend, like Dapper Wallet backend, Dapper Wallet internal logs when users see an handful error message, like something. Check. I sent a screenshot to the Arte, so I will copy the image and add it to the doc. Okay, so that's the first thing. For the rest, I'll let you take notes if you want, but I just wanted to mention this. Right. So then I will share my screen. The one thing that's I don't know if I can take maybe a picture, but I explained the whole thing on the board here. But I will do no. You know what? I will go in FigJam and quickly redraw everything. So I will share my screen as well. And I will go into team and I will do a new FigJam file and I will call this debugging session FG public cell. And this file here I will share in our meeting. And we're debugging, and at the same time I'm gonna explain what I'm doing so that everyone has context on some of the parts of the architecture that I'm maybe the only one to know. All right, so the thing that I drew is the following: is that if I check from the database, the production defined database, right? From the sorry, we're gonna from the find database, the find production database. There's the treasury database, right? So there's find production. It's for treasury. I did the first query, which I'm gonna paste here, which is select pack type ID treasury count from packs where pack type ID equals 23. 23 is the pack type ID for the public sale. Group by 1, 2, which means pack type ID treasury. Order by 1 ascending, 2 ascending. So I'm counting all the packs that we have available, and I'm kind of ascertaining that we have the packs that we think we have, and then the output of this now looks like this. So I'm gonna screenshot it, put here, but I will explain how we ended up here. Okay, so the treasury for packs initially was initially what happened was there was something like I'm not gonna have the right numbers, but initially there was like a treasury like that, and that treasury was something like 300 and 200, like
3,280.
yeah, thank you, 3,288, and then that's treasury, and then for public sale on top we had 1,000 packs. You have 1,000 for public sale on top. Then what happened is that we, for pre-sale 1 and pre-sale 2, we had something going on which was buy one get one for free. So everyone who that was the whole pre-sale epic that Charles was driving. So anyone who took part into pre-sale 1 and pre-sale 2 got airdropped a pack, the same amount of packs that they bought. Okay, so then what happened was that here these are the pre-sale 1 line and pre-sale 2 lines that you see at the top. So there was like in total there's 213 airdrops. So this was public sale. So sale, and this was treasury pack public sale for pack 23, which is public sale is null treasury. So those were this 1,000 and those were this 3,288. So the null that you see here, that's the public sale, and initially it was 1,000, and then we had these 213 airdrops to do, right? And when we send the airdrops, the idea was that okay, we were going to send them from the treasury, which means that then you can go live with the pre-sale, with the public sale, with 1,000 packs as planned, right? What happened is that those 213 drops, those 213 packs here, they got taken out of the 1,000. Okay, so then suddenly you end up with less here. You end up with 200. These 213 that were taken here, and so what I did in my fix, in the first fix that I did like during the debugging, was that in here, let me pick another, let's call this here. So what I did is I did a SQL query where I selected 213 of these packs here, right? Where I said, let's take 213 of these packs. Let's then move them down. So I've taken those 213 and I've moved them down to null, right? So I've selected, and the query for that is the following. I did that with this SQL query that I can walk you through real quick. It was the replenish step. Right, so this was replenish step. The replenish step is I selected I selected 213 packs from the packs find production database where pack type ID is 23 and treasury was equal to treasury pack 23. So I select them on the black part above here. I take 213 packs of those. And then what I do is I update the packs table. So basically this whole black stuff, I update the packs table and I set treasury null where for the 213 packs that are part of my CTE at the top, right? So what I did here, I took the 213 packs above and I set treasury null. I put them back into the public sale. So in the end, if I had run my blue query at that moment, I would have had 1,000. I had 1,000 packs available for purchase for pack 23. So then we went live, and then people were starting seeing the unhelpful error here. So then I went into the error logs tool from Dapper, and then I saw that the error message in question was a cadence error that was saying here. So now we were at the so here at that time we went back. We went back live with 1,000 packs for sale, right? And then we started seeing errors, cadence errors, where those errors are like, let me put them in orange maybe. So what the cadence code is telling you is that execution failed here. NFT collection ball resolver, whatever. So unexpected found nil while forcing optional value. So the let me try to make that bigger so that we have the proper lines as well. I know their thing is anyway. Their thing is not line delimited. Nice. But yeah, so anyway, what the error says is that, we're trying to fetch a pack. We're trying to buy a pack which is not there on chain, right? So meaning that when I reintroduce 213 packs here, some of those packs are actually not there on chain, and so when what the reserver does is that it picks one of the IDs from the available 1,000 packs. So the reserver reserves one of those packs, and then suddenly, one of those packs throws a cadence error because it's not there. So then I drew the conclusion that it has to be the 200 packs that I've added, right? So among those 213 packs that I've added, if you try to reserve them, you can reserve them fine because the backend is set up properly. But then when you try to run the transaction, the pack is not there on chain, and then the transaction fails, and then it gives the pop-up. Okay. So then I quickly checked with Bjarte, and then I checked the code from our ERA backend. We have some code here in ERA backend. ERA minus backend. In ERA backend. And we have some code that says we have done some code that's called like where you go run tasks mint the tool, right? And that code mints the packs and sets the packs in treasury. And then when you so that's what we did on Monday with Ferdi and Bjarte, when we mint and packed everything. And when you mint and pack, this is what sets up the treasury this way. And actually the code that we have when we set up to treasury, we not only update the backend table here, but we also move the packs on chain to a different path. Okay, so here, this code here, this means packs updates the find treasury and moves treasury packs to a different collection on chain. Those 213 in the backend, I added them back, but on chain they were still in the other collection. So when you try to fetch it from the admin collection, it's not there, right? So what collection, you may ask? Well, we can figure this out. If you remember my platform documentation, shows that the admin account has this public ERA pack collection, right? The public ERA pack collection, that's the public ERA pack collection is for null packs. The packs that are available, they're in the public collection, and then the treasury is something else. We can find for the code in the code, which is for treasury pack 23. So far so good. I mean, I can quickly check in the mint in job. I can follow through. Here we transfer Lucere to treasury, and we're gonna move stuff to treasury type network direction deposit, admin transfer treasury. Open this cadence transaction, and you see it's sending that to a transaction called to a collection called ERA pack treasury. And this pack treasury is then added to if you're depositing, then it's depositing to treasury. So in here we have here ERA pack collection. So ERA pack path. Yeah, ERA pack collection. ERA pack treasury. You have ERA pack collection for null packs, and you have ERA pack treasury for anything else than null packs. Okay. So this is everything that went in my head when I was like, okay, what happened and stuff. So what did I do then to hotfix the prime? Right. I just had, first of all, there was a bug which was introduced just like by mistake, but just really quickly before release, and I was, nobody was aware. Like Ferdi and Beate were working separately, which is good. And so they did the airdrop, which introduced the bug. I tried to fix it with this fix, but somehow this fix causes even worse problem, because the initial bug was just that users were going to see the initial issue was that users would see 787 packs available instead of 1,000, right? Because you had 1,000, but suddenly you have given away 213 without really knowing. So the initial bug fix that I was working on was, how do we get back to 1,000, or like how do we launch the sale with 1,000? So I do then the purple step, but suddenly the issue becomes a bit bigger. The new issue is that suddenly users would see, would not be able to purchase at all, right? Because they see the Dapper wallet, this Dapper wallet pop-up, which I can find again in my message to Beate. I'm gonna use the fig jam as post-mortem as well. At the same time, we're killing a lot of birds with one stone right now. We're teaching and stuff. So the new issue is even worse, right? So I've escalated the problem. So what did I do next? What should I do next, basically? We're still in the stuff that I did in those like 10-15 minutes. So, and then we'll get to the actual fix, okay? But what, in your point of view, what did I do after the purple step?
Did you move them to another collection that's not null?
Yeah, so exactly, right? So now I have the prime that I've introduced 213 packs among those 1,000, and those packs are causing the issue. So I need to somehow remove those 213 packs, right? So then what I did is I took my SQL pen again, and this time I moved some packs here back to a treasury that I called Louis this time. So Louis treasury. Okay. And those ones were those ones I've chosen to a 250. Why 250? Because it's covering the 213. And it's a round number, so it's easier in debugging situations. It's also easier to just remember. And also those 213, nobody tells me that those 213 are the first 213 in the 1,000, right? So my hope was to unstuck the purchase so that we can go live in time. And so I don't want to reserve the whole 1,000 because otherwise nobody can purchase. I want to cover at least 213, but I want to get a bit of margin as well, because some of those 213 might not be in the first ones. So then, anywhere between 213 and 1,000 or like 800 or whatever, like anywhere between 213 and 800 would have worked. I just picked 250. Okay. And now this is where the whole thing at the top should make sense now, because this is now the situation where in treasury for packs, you have 3,288 minus the ones that I moved, the 213 that I moved. So it's 375. In the Louis treasury, you have the 250 yellow. And then in the pre-sale 1 and 2, that's the bug, that's the red one. That's the red stuff, right? So now I'm gonna, how can I create like some shapes here? I'm gonna do, those are the red ones. Oh shit, I'm not, Is there opacity on this? Transparent. Perfect. So those are the red ones. This is the yellow one. This is the black one. And yeah, those are the black ones, basically the both the treasury and the nulls. So those are the black ones, basically. Okay. So all right. So far so good, guys. Is there any question?
I have two questions, but I'm afraid you might answer it after this. But I'll just
Go
throw them
for
in.
it. Go for it.
You told you kind of removed all of these 213 packs out of here to another collection, something. Now, if we're not sure about like if those are the redundant packs, right, that are causing issues.
Yes.
How exactly would we even replace them or find and replace? Is there a way to flag it?
Yeah.
You know?
So right now, what I've done is just in the backend, so in the database, which is the treasury database for the reserver. In the database, I've marked some packs as Louis. On chain, I have not touched anything.
Yeah.
So on chain, those 250 packs, wherever they were, they're still at the same place. It's just in the reserver that now the reserver cannot touch any one of those 250 packs because those packs are marked with Louis. So the reserver is using the remaining 750 packs here. And the drop is back on live. People are buying some of those 750. So you remove the urgency away.
Yeah.
People are doing this. And now we still need to finish the fix and clean up the mess, because now those 250 packs, first of all, we want to add them back.
Right.
Because we want to sell 1,000 packs.
Right.
And then yes, those changes that I've made in the backend, they're not reflected on chain either. So we need to then sort that out. So that's going to be part of like what's the plan, what's the action plan? And I will explain the plan. That's the plan that I put in the Slack thread. But wait, is there any other question?
How does the reserver pick the DVMs to reserve it? Is it sequential based on the IDs, or is it like random? It picks it.
So it's sequential, but that's, I mean, and you can check the answer is in ERA backend. There is a reserver service, and you can check the Go code is very simple. Where is my reserver? Is it in its own repo? Maybe it's in Final One Football. Yeah, it's probably in its own repo because we use the like Versal serverless, Go serverless things. So everything. Yeah, the reserver is in its own repo and it's very small. And I'll go straight into it's just one file basically, and that file is just like 200 lines or something. And the GoRM query. The GoRM query is the GoRM is the Prisma in Golang, is the ORM in Golang. And so if you go here, the GoRM query that picks the packs is here. So it's select where pack type ID equal the pack type ID you're passing, the parameter, and treasury is null, and reserved until is null, and reserved until is smaller than some time that you pass. This is like, let's forget about this, I can explain later. So basically this clause says not reserved, this clause says not in treasury, and this clause says not bought. And then you reserve those packs in the database, limit to the number of packs. So and then you reserve them, and the way you reserve is you run a update transaction. So you run a DB transaction to update, to mark in the database as reserved the ones that fit the clause. Okay, so in there you see that there is no order. There's no order by. So, and this is where you will understand where my 250 comes from, because there is no order by, and in my queries as well there is no order by as well. Where I did the replenish step, there's no order by here. I said just with replenish as select NFT ID from packs where pack type ID equal 23 and treasury equal 23, pick 213, right? Which brings me to my drawing, which means that both the reserver and we kind of use the same logic, which is no logic at all, which basically would mean that it's probably the default order on the table, which is probably the ID, right? So this is what my drawing, I always pick the first ones, right? Because most, the reserver picks them one at a time, ordered by natural ID. And so my query also picks them one at a time, ordered by natural ID. And so where I got lucky was that in the yellow step, I picked the first 250, knowing that I wanted to pick the same order, but the 213 needed to be for my yellow step to work. I need the 213 to be down here at the moment where I ran my 250 steps. Okay, but how did I know that this was going to work?
Because the order was default, right? I think even if you would have taken 213, it would have worked. But
yeah,
buffer is always better.
If I had taken 213, it would have worked. But how did I know that this would work? I knew that this would work because suddenly this was failing. And what we did with Adil was I went, there was a step here that I didn't mention, but I bought on main. I bought on mainnet a pack type ID. And buying pack type ID 22 on mainnet, I had no issue. So I knew that everything else was working, and that the only difference with pack type ID 23 was either the change that I did in the purple or the change that Ferdi and Bjarte did in the red. So therefore, I knew that most likely the IDs were the issue, and so I just covered the 250, the 213 with 250. Okay. So from there, what's the action plan? So I've written in the Slack thread that the action plan is the following. We are going to ascertain that the 213 packs are indeed missing from the collection with a cadence script. Then we're going to develop the Golang code to move the packs, some packs from treasury to the main collection. Sorry, why? Because we still want, like the SQL part, moving SQL packs with SQL queries. I can do, right? I can do in both sense really quickly, but then we know that bringing them, if you've not brought them on chain, this causes errors. So we're not really interested in that part. What we really need is we need Golang code that will move packs from ERA pack treasury collection to ERA pack collection. And the code should move 213 of those packs. Okay. And then, so we're going to develop that code to move those packs. We're going to then run the code to move the missing packs. And so the missing packs we're going to choose, we're going to move them from my Louis treasury, right? So in step one, we're going to ascertain that the 213 packs from the Louis treasury, the first 213 packs from the 250 Louis treasury packs are indeed missing from the collection. Let's be very specific, from public ERA pack collection. That's step one. Once you ascertain that, then you know that it was basically using the natural order, and that we're good to go with just moving the actual first 213. Yes, same.
But there is no Louis treasury, right? It's only in the SQL that you have created that, or did you create it on the chain as well?
No. I didn't create them on chain. It's just in treasury, but okay. It's just in the treasury database. But in the treasury database, then I will know which one of those 250 packs I have all the pack IDs. So then I can take those pack IDs and call a flow script, a cadence script. I call a cadence script on this flow script to look inside this public ERA pack collection, to look for that pack ID in that collection. And the cadence is going to tell me not found. And at which point I will know that then, yes, those packs are in ERA pack treasury, they are not in ERA pack collection. And also I will know that among the 250 Louis, I will know that I have 213 that are not there. So then I check them, and I know that my 250 covered all the primes, because one of the open questions is still that maybe some users will still report this issue because maybe we are not using the natural order, and maybe I've missed some of the packs. So the first step is to ascertain that we have all of them. First, ascertain that all of the 213 packs from the 250 packs are among the 250 packs, treasury packs, and the 213 missing 230 missing from public era collection are among the 250 Louis treasury packs. That's the first thing we need to ascertain. Once we're there, we know that those 213 packs, we just have to move them. So we'll develop the goal and code to move not some packs, but those 213 packs from public era pack treasury to public era pack collection. Okay. Then once you've done that, you just run the code. So this will be go run tasks fix fg cell or something / main.go, because in the step 2 we're going to develop that code. In step 3 we run the code, and then in step 4 we release the packs from treasury. So in this step we do a SQL update query to set treasury as null, where treasury equal Louis, and ID and where treasury equal Louis, because those 250, if everything went well, 213 were faulty, and the remaining was completely fine. So the remaining we can just move safely, and the 213 thanks to step 3, they are now fine as well. So then we're free to just update the 250 from Louis back to null, and then we're good to go.
Which means you're releasing from the reserved state, right?
Yeah. So then I will be running like a query like this, where I'm going to set Louis here to null. So those packs will go back into null, and Louis will be equal to 0, and null will have 1000.
Okay.
So you'll update all 250, right?
Yeah, all 250.
Yes.
Because all 250 are made of 2.
Mhm.
They're made of the ones that were completely fine, and they're made of the 213 that we would have moved in step 3.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we all good on the action plan?
Perfect.
Cool. Then we're good to go. Then let's do it.
Dear eyes.
If you want to take a break, you can. So I took I knew like the whole plan, right away, but like I think it's good to document first all that was going on, and to explain that, to also rubber duck and to add more details to what I just said.
Nice.
And now we just have to do it. Okay.
Can I interrupt you for
Yes.
one question before? I thought that the builder page is getting pushed to Tuesday.
Mhm.
So that means the reveal would also happen on Tuesday because it's a dependency, right?
Yes.
And
So
the reveal
no. So the
happens,
reveal.
The FJ profile tab will open up, and when that opens, the CTA goes to the builder page. No.
No. So the reveal, there was a separate meeting today
Mhm.
where marketing and Guillaume Delorme from product, not for product, I guess. So I don't know what the producer. They asked for not postponing the open pack.
Okay.
So initially we were gonna postponing the open pack at the same time as builder,
Yeah.
but now we're gonna open the packs on Saturday.
But the packs will be visible only on the footballers journey tab.
In your no, they will be visible. So the packs are in my packs tab
Yes.
on your profile. Then you
Not the
open
packs, the panels, sorry.
the panels. They are in your my collectibles tab, like in the one that we with the content switcher that we released today.
Is that because in like the previous versions that I was reviewing, they were all showing up under a specific tab called footballers journey.
That's something else. That's the bookshelf. Van Den, can you
Yeah, the profile content switcher, like I should have that done by tomorrow morning, but because I was blocked by the content switcher not being the one which we added to the marketplace today.
Thought it might be an issue.
There's an issue, and it's good that you remind me, because then we entered and I see there's a builder page land grab happening in my calendar, which I think will not be possible to attend for me, but it will be an issue because we need then to implement a quick hotfix where we need to block people from listing or unlisting on the marketplace, because then they will open the packs on Saturday. They will be able to see the panels in their profile.
Yeah.
They will be able to click on the panel detail page, because this is all what we've released today. And then on the panel detail page, they should not be able to list yet.
Okay.
Because otherwise we are fucked for other reasons.
Okay.
So, and we don't have anything for that. So first we need to release profile content feature, and then we also need to release add hotfix for panel detail page to block listing. Okay.
Because they're also requesting for a line to be added on the pack detail and the drop detail page to say that the reveal will happen in 48 hours or like 48 hours after launch.
Yeah.
And I can do that from CMS, but I just wanted to know if like this was a dependency.
Yeah. You can go ahead. Thomas, I see the meeting at 6 was from you. Is this something that we can postpone?
Yeah, I just wanted a bit more information about the builder page because it was news to me about this postponement. I wanted just to know what I can do with the media or not. I just wanted, it shouldn't take like, if it could take like 5 minutes, very quick overview.
Do it really quick, man, because I demoed it in Sprint Demo as well. Like the page is basically, the PR is the PR is just not in a place where we can ship this. Like there's some functionality that's there, but there's a lot of broken stuff that I've highlighted in the PR review on Monday or Tuesday, and then on Wednesday they didn't show up at stand up and they didn't work on this, and then on Thursday they like today Julian came but Grant didn't come. He was in the hospital or something. So okay, there's also personal reasons, but Julian told me that he's working on other projects and he didn't work on any of that either. And we reviewed all my reviews, and he said he will pick it up tomorrow. So tomorrow he's gonna work on it. I hope over the weekend they crunch or something, and then on Monday he's gonna work on it as well. And hopefully on Tuesday then we are in a place where we can release it.
Yeah, okay. Because I also got a message from Shane today saying, "Oh, I need my guys for 100% attention on other stuff soon. How can it be?" And like, I will tell him like, you deliver stuff that's not working. So, and I also want to understand just to what extent do we want them to be fixing and not fixing stuff, and
yeah, I mean the prime is like
jump in.
So I'll send you, I'll CC you here because I've added all those details in that thread. I screenshotted the parts that I found were not working, and I've linked the link that I just showed you, so you can also play around on your own. And yeah, it just doesn't work. So I think like for me, it was not possible for us to do the public sale plus the release of everything we released today, and as well clean up everything on the builder page. So they need to fix this stuff. We have something to do on the builder page because we broke like with our images. We now broke the props of one of the components, and I mentioned the builder page this morning at stand up. I don't remember who picked up the builder page ticket, but we need to.
I picked it up.
Yeah,
me and Charles.
And
so I made it working. I made it working just right now. I pinged you as well. At least it's working on my local, but still the comments are not addressed.
Okay, but at least it's back to work, so that's perfect. So then tomorrow when they start that day, like they should be addressing the comments that I sent, which is what we have agreed this morning with Julian. And then Julian was like, yeah, like all those things that it's fine, I can fix them in one day. So I was like, well, go ahead, dude, and be my guest. And then the thing is, then on Monday and Tuesday, like we will have to see, like we cannot, like that code is really, no, it's not in a great place, but we'll have to ship that because we don't have time to make it better, right? So they have to fix the list of things that I've listed. If they do that and we can ship, then we ship.
Okay. So is it hard to release a staging environment with this adjustments that you did, so I can just play around and showcase them or something?
I'll update the PR in some time. I need to ask few questions from Louis, probably after the call, and I'll ping you once it is done.
Oh, perfect. Now, if you say tomorrow as well, it's no problem. Just
okay.
So
sure, I'll let you know. I'm planning to do it today. The changes are ready. So I've just fixed the changes which were broken. I've not done anything else.
Yeah, sure.
But you know.
Thank you very much, guys.
Remove the drop. Can you remove discard changes? Nice. Yeah, no problem, Thomas. Sorry, like there was Mario came in with another issue that we quickly fixed with Adil. There was you remember the PR that I opened, Valderin, where I'm removing the drafts from the packs. This issue just came up again. Like there was a draft in production on Sanity with the current drop, and then Sanity, when we query, it gives us the production item plus the draft, and so both documents were showing next to each other. So we just removed the draft document, and that fixed it. Anyway, so let me just mention the reservoir. Here backend. So the reservoir that fits the packs. We're good to go now to move on with the action plan. Let's do. So actually, interestingly, like I'm pretty convinced that step one is true. Just because of how the indexes work and stuff. So I didn't start right away on step one. I was starting on step two. But we can go back to step one, I guess. I need to get to step two and to step two anyway. But I started coding this hotfix public sale main.go, and with the transaction and stuff, that would take an array of IDs, and then run a transaction called admin transfer treasury from the IDs, direction withdraw this time, type NFT network whatever. So this is the code where we're gonna move the packs, whatever IDs we give it. Golang will go run an FCL transaction and move the packs back from treasury to the collection. Okay, those 213 packs. So here now it's like to do find the 213 pack IDs. Okay. If this works, then you have moved all the packs. Like you're done with step. This is step two, basically. You're done with step two. It's as simple as that. You just need to give it the list of IDs here instead of an empty array, and then we're good. Any question on step two?
No.
Okay, nice. Then we go back to step one. So step one, ascertain that all of the 213 packs missing from the collection are among the 250. So we have two ways to do that. Either or like what could be, or rather, how are we gonna tackle this problem? The only thing we know is that we have 250 Louis Treasury packs, and I can do a quick query here to show them to you. I can do select star from packs where treasury equal Louis. So I have my 250 packs. I have their pack. I have their NFT ID. I have their NFT ID here. So I have the ID that I need for my code, my Golang code. I just don't know if those are the right IDs. Right. So how do we ascertain that those IDs are in the right collection, in the public collection or not?
Ideally, they should be right because there was no order. So if you pick up sequentially, they should be in the public.
Yeah, but that's the step we're trying to ascertain. Right now, we don't know, right? So how do I check for the presence of that particular pack, for example? Or like the question is, how do I check? Let's go back to the point, right? I need to ascertain that all of the 213 packs missing from the collection are among the 250 Louis Treasury packs. So in other words, for the 250 packs, for the 250 Louis packs, how can I check in which collection, in which collection they are, right? That's the question.
So when you run the withdraw and if the ID is not present in that collection, it should throw an error, right? Ideally,
Yeah, but
you're
that's
already doing that.
yeah, but that's okay. But that's a pretty brutal way to do that, right? Because you're running a transaction. You're running a transaction. I don't want to like give the answer, but like there's
Do
a
we
there's
know
a,
the IDs of
what?
those specs, or we don't? Like, can we just compare?
What was your question, Balan?
Do we know the IDs of those
Yes.
packs in the chain?
Yeah, because I have them here. So I have all the IDs of the chains here. It's the NFT ID folder. So I have all the IDs of the packs, and I just don't know where those packs are. And those packs could be in two places. They could be in this ERA public collection or in this ERA pack treasury. Either ERA pack collection or ERA pack treasury.
You could probably check the reserved until, right? Is that it?
No, so the reserve until is a pure backend is a backend thing
Right,
from the
okay.
reserve. Yeah.
Pack details. Will that?
Pack details, you mean?
I'm not sure of the script, but a script to
Yes.
get the pack based on the ID.
Yes, exactly, right? So exactly. So the pack details page is using a script, which we're gonna use here, right? The pack, and I save you the trouble. There's a script called get ERA pack, right? And the reason why this is step 1 and not step 2 is because you don't run a transaction when you can run a script. A transaction mutates the chain. It's to write to the chain. Here we want to read from the chain. We need to run a script. So the question then becomes, how do you find the right script? But there is this script that's called get ERA pack that we use in the pack detail page, which we're gonna run, right? And now this one is gonna tell us, like, basically this thing is gonna tell us, like, is the pack there or not? If the pack is there, it's gonna tell us, give us some data. If the pack is not there, it's gonna give us an error. So that's gonna solve the problem. But this pack does the job for one pack type ID, right? Tells us if one pack is there or not. And now we have a problem with that. We have 250 packs to run. So how do we? What's the second part here? How do we? Like, I mean, I can get started with, like, one by one. We can check with one. Like, if we check with the first one and it's missing, we know we struck gold, right? We know we're on the trail for something, right? So I can already do that before moving to second part. So I can go in direct cadence. It's the command then.
Execute something.
Pro-
Pro scripts execute
Yeah, pro scripts execute
script and then pass in the parameters.
scripts.
It's
Get
already
your-
there.
it's already there. Get your pack. No, but that's another one. That's sorry. So I missed. It's not get your pack. Sorry. So my memory failed. It's what's the
Is there an NFT maybe?
yeah, there's a get ERA NFT. Let's check the available scripts. Get ERA NFT. So the get ERA NFT, but this one is gonna give us an NFT, so that's not the one. Get ERA pack, that's the one I was gonna run, but actually get ERA pack is running. Get ERA pack is not the script we want. Actually, it's running a script based on pack type ID, not based on the NFT ID. So it appears we don't have the script that I thought we had. So actually, step 0 is going to be to, so it's not going to be get ERA pack, it's going to be get ERA pack NFT or something, because we want to get the actual pack NFT. So we need to write that script quick. Okay, but that's not too hard because we can copy the stuff that's around, right? So we're going to create one here called a new file here. I'm going to say get ERA pack NFT. That's easy, right? And if I check my get ERA pack, I'm gonna copy paste the stuff into it. I'm gonna remove the whole pack ERA pack data struct because we don't care about this. To be frank, and so actually we might even write another script more specific, which is just
Can we get packs based on the user, based on the admin? Just admin address and just get all the packs for that?
Yes, so we have a script
And just
called
compare it in the Golang that all the IDs are present in that or not?
Yes. So you could do that with this list ERA packs. The problem with list ERA packs is that, in the admin you have many packs. You have like thousands of packs. So you're not gonna be able, like, then it's gonna create like I think more work. But that would be one way to do it with this list pack script. But now I think pretty quickly we can write. Maybe we call it, instead of get pack NFT, we call it like or like, now let's keep it get pack NFT. We will return a bool. We still take this pack collection public path, right? Instead of taking the type ID, we want the NFT ID of the pack, right? As an input. So collection ref, this is fetching it's the era pack public collection. So this stays. Okay. The pack metadata line we don't care anymore about, because that was the one fetching the metadata for that pack type ID. And then the remaining packs we don't care about. Instead we need collection ref here. Instead of remaining packs here, we need collection ref dot something. But XXS get me the NFT with ID NFT underscore ID, right? So now we need to go in the collection ref, in the collection smart contract, in the era pack smart contract. We are going to read the collection, and we can even return this stuff directly. Maybe as simple as that. Now we need to find the name of that command, right? So if I open the era pack smart contract, I'm going to close a bunch of stuff. I'm going to go straight to the collection public. So it's not on the NFT, it's on the collection public here. And you see the API of the collection public. We have deposit, get IDs, get packs left for type, borrow NFT, borrow era pack, etc., etc. So which one is the one that looks the most promising?
Borrow NFT?
Yes, exactly, right? Borrow NFT, and then I pass it ID, NFT ID. So now expected bool, but got non-fungible token NFT. Yes, so I can go to that function here, and I see that borrow NFT returns me a non-fungible token NFT. So instead, here I can return, like, if I don't want to think more, which is my case right now, instead of returning bool here, I'm just going to return this stuff. And so I'm gonna need to import non-fungible smart contract. Non-fungible smart contract, and I can remove a lot of the shit here. And why is this not working? Because it's contracts and that non-fungible token was just an import error. So now you get the collection reference, then you borrow the NFT. If you manage to do that, you return an NFT. If you don't manage to do that, it's gonna panic. It's gonna give me an error, right? So now I come here and I do flow.
But that ID is the pack ID, right?
No. That's the big thing. So it's the NFT ID, right?
Okay, but in the table, what you showed us, right? Is that the NFT ID or is that the pack ID?
The NFT,
Okay, NFT ID. Okay.
It's the NFT ID,
Okay.
right? It's the NFT ID. So so here, ID on the left here is just auto-incremented Postgres ID. It's just database ID. NFT ID is the ID of the era pack NFT, because every era pack is an NFT itself. So that's the ID that you can use to do whatever to it. Okay, so I come back here and I say get era pack NFT, right? My admin account, and then I send it let's try the first one. I try with this, and we see if we hit gold. Okay. Boom. NFT does not exist in the collection. What's going on? Maybe it's another error as well. Precondition failed. NFT does not exist in the collection. Check. Interesting. So my code probably has a bug. So if I were, in order to just debug my code, what I can do is I can take, for example, I can take a pack from pack type ID 22, which I know doesn't have any issue, right? So I can do select stuff from packs where pack type ID is equal to 22, and treasury is null and botak is null and reserved until is null or whatever. Yeah, I'm just being extra cautious, but I want then limit 5 or something. I want 5 available packs for pack type ID 22. I take one of those NFT IDs and I use that one. Now the code works. Right?
Nice.
So for pack type ID 22, which I know is on chain, it works. But for that particular pack, which I take from 23, it didn't work. So I know that maybe I'm hitting gold, right? I have my 250 packs. I tried the first one, I know it's missing. If I go to the last one, it should work because I know that 250 is bigger than 213. Right? And now you see as well why I took 250 and not 213, because then I can play around, test. This one works. Right? Now if I go to the 214th, 214th, so I'm doing dichotomy right now, right? Dichotomy is a very strong debugging tool. So if I go to 213, I do here up until here, that's 224. So this is 220, this is 215, this is 213. So if I'm taking the 214th and I'm selecting this right now, I'm hoping to see an NFT, right? There's an NFT. If I select the 213 now,
It won't be there.
It should not.
I'm hoping to not see an NFT.
Nice.
So nice. So now, okay, so now we've ascertained that the first one and the last one from the 213 are not there, but we don't know for sure that any between the first one and the 213th one is missing. But at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we
but-
could check a couple more, no? Like the middle point.
Yeah, you can check a couple more.
Yeah, like check the halfway point.
Yeah, more dichotomy you can do, yeah. But otherwise, how would you programmatically check for all of them?
Script, right? So you can just more like
You can
loop.
yeah, exactly. You write a loop. So probably in Golang or in Node.js,
Yeah.
you write a loop and you run the script that I'm running in the Flow CLI, but instead you run it programmatically for the 250, and then you check that all of them are missing.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do we need to do it? Like,
No.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not, because I'm not gonna do it, because observe that the IDs on Postgres are increasing.
Yeah.
And the IDs on the NFT IDs are also increasing. And the reason is that when we mint and pack, like those NFT IDs, they are the unique IDs on the Flow blockchain.
Mhm.
So they auto increment, like they are, how do you say, like monotonously increasing.
Mhm.
And so you know that there's not gonna, like, basically ID here equal time. So you know that the first 213 are the oldest 213.
Right.
And I've just ascertained that the oldest 213 are missing, and that the rest of the ones, like some of the ones are not missing. And at this point, I'm pretty confident. But if I really want, if I was not lazy, then I would write the Golang code to programmatically check the 213.
Right.
And then store that in a JSON or something, or just have a tally counter, and make sure that the 213 are missing.
Yeah.
Okay. But I would say let's not do that right now. I mean, I don't know, like unless we write it like really quickly. But
I just have one question, might be off topic, because when we're reserving packs, we get a response with pack ID, which resonates to NFT ID on
Yes.
the blockchain. It is
Yes.
NFT ID.
yes,
right?
that's
Okay.
the NFT ID.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the NFT ID.
Cool. And it's incremental as well, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So back to, so we've done that, and step 2 was actually my question earlier was, how would you programmatically check for the 250? You would do like a Go script, or like Go or Node.js script to loop and run to loop through the 250 IDs and run the script for each and store for the output, and and check it. We're gonna jump over that step because, yeah. So then we have developed the code, the Golang code. So now in order to move the missing packs, the only thing we need is those IDs, right? We need the 213 IDs, right? So I'm here in SQL. I have my 250 Louis packs. I need now the first 213, right? So I'm gonna do simply this select NFT ID from packs by treasure equal Louis limit 213. And I have my 213 IDs.
The first 213, so it'll be the same.
The first 213, all on the natural order of Postgres. So now the question is, and this is probably the hardest thing for me right now. The question is, how are we gonna put these 213 IDs inside the Golang code? I don't know the syntax for that, but we'll figure this out together. Because I can export this query as CSV. I can just try to copy paste all those IDs in my ID and add some commas or whatever. But let's start with actually let's start with what would be the syntax for an array of 10 actually. So in those situations, I do. If any of you know the syntax, let me know. Otherwise, we can research together. I can do learn x in y. Do you know this thing? Right?
Yeah. Should have it there somewhere.
I've seen Beate do it.
You see, yeah. So I'm using this, and that's how. So when you go from like learning one language to multiple,
Yeah.
this website is just amazing because all you need to know is basically one language. And here, this learn X in Y minutes, you go and you can pick up any language, and in one page or whatever, they explain to you all the basics. And you already know programming from your first language. So this one just does the kind of the Rosetta Stone of the translation. So what I'm looking for right now is the syntax for. I'm going to scan this real quick. I'm looking for the syntax of like an array of multiple integers, and I found it here. So you just pass them inside the thing here, and you separate them by comma. So this would be, I guess, valid syntax, or does he want another? Yeah, he wants another comma here. So if
I think we had an example of this maybe in the transfer challenge task where we were doing the array thing. I think it's the same thing though.
Okay.
Complete transfer chart. I don't think it's in complete transfer chart. No, it's not here. It's not in this one. It's in Cadence.
Okay.
Because we had to pass an array of our NFT IDs there, right?
No, but it should be no wait, it should be in this one because if I do challenge, burn challenge float, no. Wait.
Oh yeah, it's not here. No,
It's not here.
no, it's in the Cadence.
Okay, but wait, why is it in Cadence?
Transfer challenge is the task.
Okay, but what? Yeah, because it's like a test. It was like an integration test kind of thing.
Because we're burning multiple NFT IDs, right? In the thing. So there.
What is it?
We passed it as a string actually, but before that we were passing it
as a string. Okay, as a string. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
So maybe that's another way you could do it. Like, I think it gets passed, right?
Yeah, but you mean as a cadence argument, passing an array string, or
like is there a way where you could just like in JavaScript you can have like a string with comma separated, and then you can call split to get all the IDs into an array.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I think so if I just do this,
or is there like a read CSV function in Go or something?
Yeah, that's probably a read CSV, right? But I'm just too lazy to find it. Now I pasted my 250, and the only thing I need is to add a comma everywhere.
There's a simple way to do this. If you create a new file within the IDE, just paste everything there.
Yeah.
And then go to the first line.
Yes.
Put your cursor in the end, and then go to the end of the file. Hold Shift and press Option in the last thing, and then just add a comma. You're clean.
Nice.
That's it.
Okay, that's perfect. Perfect. Done.
Nice. Done. So then we have all the IDs here. Perfect. So that was that was shift option. I didn't know shift option. Okay, cool. So then you have the 213 packs and no to-dos anymore. So then you have the array of IDs here, and then I pass them to this low dash equivalent in Golang, which chunks them by chunks of 50. And for each chunk, I'm running the transfer treasury transaction in the withdraw direction, and we're good, right? So at this stage, we are good with step 3, right? So here, either I just run it, or I maybe text Bjarte real quick and tell him, we're ready. Can we play this back to you? So just save.
But when we withdraw, we have to deposit it to another collection as well, right? Or just withdraw will help.
You will see. I glanced over this like quickly earlier. Let's wait for him. While we wait for him, let's read the transaction code. So this is a transaction I'm calling, and I'm calling it with. I'm passing the IDs. I'm passing the direction withdraw. I'm passing type NFT and the network, right? So I come here. I have my array of IDs. I'm type withdraw. No, a type. What's type? Type NFT. Direction withdraw and network mainnet. So if I come here, I see that the pack treasury is pack treasury, the NFT treasury is NFT treasury. The type is probably not NFT, actually, it's probably pack. Yes. So it's good that we read the transaction code again, because it's type pack that we care about. So if it's mainnet, then pack path is era pack collection. Pack treasury is era pack NFT. We can forget everything about NFT treasury because this is only if type NFT, right? So in our case, from path will be NFT treasury, to path will be NFT path by default. But because we're in type pack and direction withdraw, we're in that thing. So then from path will become treasury, and to path will become pack path, right? So we're gonna withdraw NFTs from the treasury to the collection, which is what we want. If it had been type pack and direction deposit, it would have been the other way around, right? So just due to how the cadence transaction is coded, it has this API with like type and direction that lets us, with no code, do exactly what we want. Okay. So, and then you're calling transfer from the right path to the right path with the right IDs. So we're good to go. We are good to go with the code, the Golang code. I can revert the kit to you if you want, but we are ready to run the transaction. Okay. I can also just paste it to him. I can paste it. Do this. How do you say text snippet? Paste this Golang, and then I call this copy relative path. I call this path. Okay.
I don't feel like Beata will shout at the numbers hardcore like that.
No, I think we think the same. The only thing that I'm just thinking now is, should we try maybe with one or two first?
Yeah.
Before all of them, or because anyway it's gonna chunk them, and if it fails for some of them, what's gonna happen is, if it fails for some of them, it failed transferring IDs to treasury. Because the only thing where I don't want to put us in a worse mess than we are, right? And the only way we could get into a worse mess than we are is if we start chunking, and then somehow the first 50 fail, but then the second 50 go through, and then the third 50, then you don't know which one is which one, right? So should we? I'm kind of inclined now to just take the whole list and start small, right? Start small with just a couple. So I'm gonna put the whole list here, and we're gonna command X 3 of them, and we're gonna command V 3 of them here. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I go here and I do ERA backend. I do export flow network mainnet. I do export. Yeah, this client doesn't need anything else right now. So then I can do go run tasks. Outfits, public sale, main, go. Are we ready for this? Let's press enter and pray. What is Beate saying?
We get a drum roll.
Yeah. Can someone just real quickly? Oh, apparently it just worked. Can someone quickly check the sales on the drop
Yeah.
just to see how far if we are okay or if we need to hurry up?
We're good.
We okay. Okay, we sold only 20 packs, 16 packs. Okay, so the transaction went through with those 3 IDs. So what do I do now to verify that this worked? Just
Check if they're in
You
the
can- Yes. If they're present.
Yeah, I check that they're in the collection by running the script, right?
Yes.
So here, I come here and I run the script with one of those IDs, right? And now instead of seeing an error, I should see the NFT,
Ah, nice.
right? I'm gonna do it for the 3 of them. And I have it for the three of them. Okay, so we're good. So now I can just run it for yes, Thomas?
I'm almost sure that before you run the script, there were like 981 packs left. Now it's showing 984 packs left on our.
I was going to ask as well, the number just went up. It was for sure 981. It was 19 packs sold until 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago.
Haha.
Wait a second. Wait
Yeah,
a
yeah,
second.
yeah. Okay, that's
It's-
possible. Thanks for.
Just let you guys know.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, apparently it went from 81 to 84.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
fine, right?
that's very no, it's not fine because okay, so this okay, thanks for noticing, man, because I will explain. One part that I didn't mention here, right? One part that I didn't mention in my fix is that I ran a transaction earlier for the part of the fix, which was this transaction. It was to remove the urgency on selling on going live with the sale. What this transaction does is that I'm resetting the pack type 23 with a counter of 1000 on mainnet with the right signer. Okay, so what I did there is that because we removed the 213 to treasury, in the treasury database, I had only 787, but also on chain, I just had 787, right? So 787 packs on chain at that time because the red were gone. And because on the pack detail page we are consuming the chain to show how many packs were left, then users were seeing 787 packs available instead of 1000, which was the first issue, right? So by running this transaction here, you reset the tally counter
Right.
on chain, but that tally counter, like the chain is not able to deal with this kind of data structure. So this is why you have a database on top. So the chain is just a counter where you tell the smart contract there is 1000 packs by running this transaction here. So you're just telling the chain that there's 1000 remaining pack, and the only thing that the chain is able to do is to decrement or increment the counter based on operations. So when you withdraw, you remove one, and when you deposit, you add one. But it's not able to. It's not a database that can do a select count star on packs. It doesn't work like this. So that's why you have this separate database that works as a cache where you can do all the SQL queries. And then you have your pack type IDs and you can affect the chain, right? So essentially by running this transaction here, I will put it as purple because that was part of the first fix. We unblocked going live because suddenly the users see 1,000 packs. But now they were saying they were seeing now 981, and we've just added 3 packs, so it's 984.
Right.
And we're gonna add another 250, like 250 minus 3, so we're gonna add another 247. And those, so in total, it's gonna be 1,250 packs that they're gonna see instead of 1,000. So it's gonna be a prime, right?
So you have to reset it.
So I'm gonna have to reset again. At the end, once everyone is happy, I'm gonna run exactly the same transaction with 1,000 because it's gonna be really, for a split second, it's gonna be at 1,250. Then I'm gonna run the transaction again. I mean, not 250, sorry, 250 minus the sales that we had, so minus 19 is gonna be 31. Gonna be at 1231 for a split second, and then I'm gonna reset it to not to 1,000, sorry, but to then the 999. Yeah, here we're gonna have a prime because we're gonna have to check the sales
At that point.
at that point.
But
Is
quick
there a way
question:
we-
how did the number change? Like that's what I don't understand. Because at the end, it's only those packs. Where do the extra 200 come from?
You mean the extra 200? What do you mean? Which one? Which ones?
Like we moved 3 from one collection to the other one.
Yep.
So weren't they already missing from the collection? So why were they added to the number? That's what
Yeah,
I
but
don't understand.
that's a fair question. But
The only deficit should be 250 minus 213, right? That should be the only deficit above 1,000. Because you changed the counter to 1,000. Ideally, there was 787, but you moved in the database. You moved it to 250.
Let me answer Valdoin's question first, Said. Then we come to my problem of like 281. I put an asterisk here, and we figure this out because actually this was a missing step. I didn't think about this. So once we move the missing packs, we're gonna need to do that. Okay, and we're gonna need to figure out the actual number, and then we're gonna be able to release the packs. Okay, but first let me answer Valdoin's question. So the answer is in the code, and we didn't read the code. We just flew through it. But the admin transfer treasury cadence transaction that we do, we reviewed that part of the code, and then once you have the right direction and everything, you're calling admin client transfer from path to path, whatever. So I need to read the admin smart contract to understand what this transfer thing does, right? So we open the admin smart contract, we look at the transfer, right? And transfer from path to path IDs. You're doing a bunch of things. You're collecting the right collection. You're doing the right things, and then you're calling send NFT from this place to this other place. And send NFT, what send NFT does, it's calling recipient.deposit, right? And recipient is the ERA-pack receiver. And so if I go to my ERA-pack thing and I look for deposits, in my deposit method, I'm gonna find the place where it increments. Where are you? Deposit here. You see, in the deposit on the ERA-pack collection, when I'm depositing a token, I'm incrementing the tally counter by 1. Right. So this is just in the smart contract coded that when you deposit a pack in the collection using the ERA-pack smart contract, the ERA-pack smart contract will take care of auto increment or incrementing the tally counter.
Yeah, I have one question now.
Does that answer your question, Velen?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I have one question now. If we want to fix this,
Mhm.
there's like 2 ways. After you have made all the changes, we can decrement the number, reset the counter that way. But when we are doing that, what if someone buys a pack at that point of time? Then we'll have that inconsistency.
Yes.
Is there a way we can read on the chain to see the packs left and then run the transaction with that number? It'll be like more accurate, no?
So now we come to Said's points where we just need to figure out the actual delta, and the delta is 213. So instead of the delta, we know is 213. So instead of saying 981, here we have to say something like XX minus 213, right? So we need to, at that time, we need to do, at that time, if people buy packs, we just find the X value at that time and we remove 213 and we'll have our value.
Okay.
And because you run a transaction, like I mean, technically, if at the time where we reset the counter and someone buys a pack, there could be maybe a one by one error or something. To be honest, I'm not sure, but at least there you won't have a big problem.
Good.
Okay. So good that we tried small. Always try small. So now we're ready to go with the rest.
Yeah, let's do in chunks, right? I saw that it's 50.
Yes. So it's gonna chunk automatically in chunks of 50.
Okay.
Okay. So now if I run this, it's gonna run multiple transactions basically. Until probably like 4 because it's in chunks of 5 actually, because it's 210 remaining now because we moved 3, so it's gonna be modulo 50, so it's 5. So 5 transactions are gonna run, and then we go and we are gonna check for the last one. That didn't work. What is going on?
One got added.
Okay, wait. What is going on now? Why is there this error now? Packs already exist. Migrating database error relation packs already exists. Okay, why? It worked perfectly fine earlier. So if I select now, first of all, let me keep, this is I will save this. We'll save this as, those are my data set, like my treasury pack IDs and pack IDs to move. .cv. Okay. We know we've moved the first 3, and now we were trying to move the rest, and we suddenly got an error that says that it's running a SQL query, even though I'm not asking it to run any SQL query. It's trying to create the packs table, which already exists. So there's some kind of auto migration going on, but it's really weird because I just ran exactly that same command before. So what the fuck happened? So I think maybe what's going on is that, hold on. So if I do echo database URL, there's no database URL. If I do echo, it's what the client does. It does like a bunch of magic here, and we can read the code, and it creates a find DB here, which which is trying to find from this test DB environment variable, or if network. So if network is emulator, it's not our case. If network is testing, it's not our case, but it's then taking ERA DB. So in our case, it's mainnet. So it's actually reading from ERA DB. Right? So if I echo ERA DB, I do not have ERA DB anymore. But then why didn't it complain before? Why didn't it complain before? So if I do export ERA DB, right? So I can check quickly that this is the right database by going to all projects, and I just wanted to be done with the problem. Now we have another one. This is the mainnet database. Is GB whatever. Okay, so it's not this one. For ERA DB equal, and this is not A. This is B. If I do PGCLI, URLDB. And if I do now select star, so I know that the Louis packs, they are only there for the production database, right? So right now I'm testing that we are in the production database by doing select star, select count from packs where treasury equal Louis. I have 250. So I'm in the production database, it's the right URL. So I have set the URL again. If I try to run the script again, let me try to run, for some reason I'm gonna try to run it with just 1 or 2. Another just 2. Oh, fuck. Just try out. So I'm gonna export. I mean, I've exported the right thing, and now if I do go run, and if I export again, the flow network minute, if I do go run task hotfix public cell main, what happens then? It seems to be working now, because otherwise it would have failed already. Okay, and one more thing that I've not touched on, but which I probably should have done. And you realize these things only when you've made the mistake. But do you know, like, right now I'm touching the chain. The chain, it's irreversible when you touch the chain. But in our case, we're touching the chain from one admin collection to another admin collection. So I can always, if I made a mistake, I can always run another transaction to undo my mistake. But what else are we touching, and what sort of measures we could take to be even more safe right now, which I have not taken.
Backup of the DB.
Exactly, right. So I should have DB probably, right, because the find prod DB, because I'm touching the find prod DB, I'm changing some stuff there. In my mind, I was not touching the prod DB, right? But because in my code here, I'm not touching the prod DB. But the find client is doing some stuff under the hood that's touching the prod DB, and I didn't know, right? So just to be safe, like either you read the code again, or you just you just back up, just to be sure,
Two more packs just got added.
Yeah, that's the 2 that I added.
Yeah, it was in 986 now.
So that's perfect. That's perfect. So it means that when it failed earlier, nothing happened. So that's good. That's good. So now I'm gonna name that backup by the date and time.
I have a question. This is from Superbase, right? This DB exists on Superbase.
Yes.
Superbase takes snapshots.
Yes.
So do we really need the backup locally?
Yes. What
Is that time snapshot then?
Sorry?
Like Superbase has time snapshots, or like?
No, so the snapshots from Superbase are daily. So you will have snapshots. Has someone denied Bjarte?
I added him.
Okay.
I'm not sure what happened.
You clicked the
No, I
deny.
clicked on admit.
No worries. And so what was your question?
My question is Superbase.
Oh yeah. Superbase snapshot. So it's once a day, every morning. And so
Oh yeah, then we missed it right now.
yeah, so right now we're doing intraday changes. So
Right.
so it's better to do just like a manual backup like this.
Hey guys, sorry I didn't see.
Oh no, don't worry, man. We're good. So what we've done, just to check his check his tag. Yes. yes, fine on the tag.
I just have to nerd out a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. It's fine. You
Oh, no,
are.
it's only showing one of them now.
You're it's fine, Bate, but I'm trying to stay focused as well on
Yeah,
fixing
sure.
on
Sorry, mate.
resolving the issue. But just to let you know, we have a whole we made I made and I took the opportunity to make a kind of a pairing session out of this, and also to document in a postmortem. So
Yeah.
I've explained the whole thing to the team here. We have an action plan. We're done with like step 1, 2, and step 1 and 2. Step 1 was ascertaining that we knew what those packs were and where they were. We did that. Step 2 was to develop the Golang code to move the packs. We did that. And now we are at 3 of moving the actual missing packs, and we've moved 5. We were doing 3 and then 2 just to double check there were no side effects. Now we're gonna move the remaining. Once we're done with moving all the packs, we are gonna update the tally counter again, because when we deposit the packs, the counter goes up. So that's gonna look really weird to users. So we're gonna update the count again, and then at the end we're gonna release the packs from Treasury. Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks. So then we are good to go with this. I'm gonna Command X.
Did you see that we have a task called Treasury? But I guess it have the required input that you need. Right now it doesn't. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but
Have
the code is
right.
Yeah, that's the code we wrote, right? And so it takes an array of IDs, and then it's just chunks those IDs in batches of 50, and for each chunk, it runs the admin transfer treasury for type pack and in direction withdraw. And that's it.
Yes, that looks perfect.
Yeah, and that's it. And we don't do any logging, we don't do anything, but it's just, and then we just copy pasted the errors instead of passing a CSV. We just copy pasted the NFTs IDs instead of.
Yeah. So, I mean, the important thing now is just getting them fixed, right? Getting things running.
Yes. So
when is the pack drop is still not open, right? You will open it.
It's live. I've sort of like I've unblocked it with the basically people right now think there's 1,000 packs, but there's really just 750. And now we're adding the 250 that are missing. And so for a split second, there's going to be 1,250 packs available. So that's why we need to then reset the counter again after. But the sale is going on and it's not going strong, but it's unblocked.
Okay, good.
That's why we then took the time to teach and
then I kind of get you. If you have unlocked them with kind of reserving or setting treasury on all the items that was wrong, that is actually in treasury or in the other path, right? Then I got you. I totally got you. Right?
Do you know how I did that? Now the diagram will. So the thing is, like, I selected, I just assumed, right? I assumed that the pack, the IDs in Postgres, like the table in Postgres was ordered by pack, not by the natural order of those pack IDs, and that when you put to treasury, you put to treasury the oldest IDs. So then I selected the first 250 from the available packs, and I put them in a treasury called Louis, which then unblocked the public sale, which removed all the pressure. And now what we're doing is, like, among those 250, we know the 230 that are wrong.
Yeah,
we're moving those on the right collection.
You are totally right that we just take the first. So yes. we shuffle everything when we meant, so we know that we put treasury of given permutations in packs as well, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's where we are. And now what do we do? So we do, I pasted all the.
Wait a minute. What did you say? You said you put the first 250 and then you unblocked it. Let me just think. I just have to be sure that that's enough. Do you know how many packs?
It was 213. It was 213.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, if you have all the numbers, then you have all the numbers, right?
Yes, we're good. Okay, I press enter now, and we're done, more or less.
Good.
If nothing goes wrong. I don't do any logging or anything, but here, of course, you could print ln stuff and whatever. But for me to code this stuff in Golang, it's just like, it's gonna take me too long.
Yeah.
Maybe if I use this this learn X in 1 minute a bit more, then maybe I could do it. In here, I'm pretty sure you have like println and stuff. Yeah, println.
It worked.
Nice.
Yeah, no, don't worry. It's totally.
There are 1036 packs now.
Yeah, 50 went through.
It's going through.
Okay, so it's one batch at a time, so that's normal. So I'm still waiting for the other batches.
We already have a thread for this.
Okay, nice.
Oh, it's running now.
Yeah, it's running now.
You didn't print anything. Okay. I said you could have used if you just start overflow with print results, then it would actually print as it does things.
That's what I was looking here. Here in context.
No. Sorry. If we create overflow in there, right? So don't mind, right? It's when you create overflow you do it. Actually, I have a great. It's so cool today on this other project that we're doing that I can't tell you about yet, but I will soon. We had a bug. We found a bug in overflow, and then it's so cool that I controlled it because then I could just fix it.
Mhm.
It's really cool.
Nice.
But when you set the sum here, are you going to set it to the purchased 1,000 meters to purchase amount, or?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm gonna take the final amount and I'm gonna withdraw to 13. So it's gonna take me to exactly what you said, 1,000 minus purchase amount, because we don't know purchase amount ahead of time. So I'm gonna do minus 213 at the end.
1194, I guess. Yeah, that's what I see.
11. So it's done. Okay. So what's the 1194? You said 1194.
94, yes.
13. So 981. So there was actually no sale in between, but it's good that we double check. So 981. I reset the tally counter right now. I'm running the transaction, and once that's done, we are
If you
done.
need any input from me on the postmortem, just ask and I can add. But I think
Yeah.
you have it covered.
Yeah, we have everything, and I'll just double check. I'll just double check the JSON file from Ferdi and whatever, and it's just it's probably just typo, simple typo, or whatever. I don't. So it's actually doesn't matter, to be honest. I cared more about that. It's done, perfect. So then we need to do step 5, and now the interesting part is I'm gonna get you guys to write the SQL, because so let's stay in this fig jam. And what is the SQL query that I need to craft for this? I need to release the packs from the treasury, and I've already partly done the answer, like put the almost the answer here. I need to run an update query to set treasury null where treasury is Louis. What's that query gonna be like?
Same as the replenish step, what you did. Right? Already the same query.
Is it gonna be the same, or can
not exactly the same, but you can change the variable there.
Yeah, but can we do simpler actually? Because the replenish was doing something more complex. The replenish was selecting only the first 213.
You don't put any limit there.
Yeah, but there's something simpler we can do. Does anyone else want to try? I did.
Instead of select star, we can just change it to whatever deletes it. I don't really.
No,
just
please, no deletes. Who's next? Van der. Or Valdrin, you go. You are. Yeah.
I would say the same as Adil. Just select the star from which table you're selecting, where treasury equals Louis.
Yeah.
Then that's it, and then we just update.
But can you update Louis to null itself?
Yes, exactly. So the first approach was to do the kind of the replenish style, where you do from packs, like select star basically from packs where treasury equal Louis, without any limits. I agree that that would have worked, but then without any limits. And then you set treasury to null from replenish, whatever. But then the easiest thing to do is just you update
the Louis to null.
you update packs where treasury equal to Louis, right? And you set treasury equal null where treasury is Louis. Right? Because you're running an updates query directly, you don't need to run a select only when you have more complex things to do, like for example a limit. But the prime of running the CTE here is that then you need to do the join condition on the. You need to do the join basically on between the packs table and your CTE. So it's just like more work for nothing. And here we know that we can directly update in packs. You set treasury null where treasury is Louis. So I'm gonna do this now. Update packs. Set treasury equal null where treasury where treasury is Louis. Again, so those 250 packs that are in Louis, there's 213 that we've moved, and there's the rest which was already fine. So we are fine to just do that without any limits to 213 or whatever. I just updated 250, and now the reserver is going to be fine as well. Okay. Cool. Now we're done with step 5, and we're done with the whole thing.
Just a security check. Isn't it good to check how many packs were bought?
You mean, okay, yeah.
Just do a select and see if there are really 19 packs bought, just to be safe.
Yes. So we would do this doing this. So select start from packs, where pack type ID equal 23, and but that is not null, right? And what? No, and treasury is null.
Treasury. Yes.
I have the treasury FG preset. So where and treasury. That's why also, by the way, that's why I always do select star and not select count star. You know, because you could do select count star because you're like, yeah, I'm just looking into count, but then you see a count 232 and you don't know why. So and treasury is null. Right? And here I have 19 rows now. So I have 19 purchase packs marked in the DB. So we're done, guys. We're done. Well, that was interesting. So we documented everything on the fly in that fig jam for the postmortem, if any, and we're good to go. I can stop the recording. Oh no, I think the recording stops at the end of the meeting. So does anyone have any question or any comments or any?
Nice.
Yeah, what he said.
That was pretty intense, but yeah, it took us in the end at like 1 hour 30. If I look in the engines, yeah, I posted my Slack thread at 5 p.m. You guys came in at 5:15 or something. Then we did the whole explanation at the beginning, the whole planning, and then the bug fix there is behind that. So 1 hour 30 in total. But yeah, that was good.
My project manager question: is it possible this problem will happen in future drops?
If we make the same mistake again when we are airdropping or when we then yes, but and right now,
I think we should just create some action points after this postmortem on what we need to do to prohibit it from happening again. And one of them is just making an issue to ensure that when we airdrop, we can actually specify where we airdrop from, or just say explicitly we always airdrop from treasury if there's packs. And just have some more rules around that, because that's really the problem here that arose, right? Was that we actually we airdropped from the live treasury, and that was caused all of this issue, right? We have never done that before, right? We've always we always airdrop packs after pack sales was closed and not sold out, right? So that's why this is like a new scenario, if you got me, Thomas.
Let's double click exactly on what you said, because so the airdrop file here.
So we don't have anything in there to specify that, right? If you go, so now we only say, okay, what packs do you want to say? We don't say where do you want to pick the packs from, or what treasure should the packs be in, or things like that.
But what was because you guys did airdrop Thursday with all the airdrops together.
Yes,
so that's why
we
I
do
said
that every week. So if you go to the bottom, you can see the packs there. Yeah. So what I think we just need to expand on this format and be able to specify, okay, you want plays, but where do you want to get plays from? You want packs, but where do you want to get packs from? You want panels. Where do you want to get the panels from? Right? Should they have a treasury? Should they what path should they be in? Just be a little bit more explicit about it, because I think that would solve it. Or just have convenience to say that when we do this, we always do this, if you got me.
100%. So we do shit.
And another thing I think we should mention for postmortem, Louis, that is, we should investigate some time into having distinct paths for each collection, for each pack type, because then we don't have to update the numbers, because it's always going to be those packs, and then you would kind of get the one I said before for free, right? Because you would never airdrop from the live pack collection. You always airdrop from the spare packs, if you get me, or the other packs, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. One collection per pack type. So in this case, you will have public era collection.
So that would, for instance, be area pack, and then it would be panels 23, right? And then it would be area pack on Serie A, maybe 23, or whatever you want to call the other packs for Serie A, right?
Yeah, and you keep the treasury as well. One path.
Exactly. Yeah, you have these two paths, and so what we could say here is that when we create packs, we always put them into treasury, and then when we actually want to sell them, so either we put them into the collection or the treasury, but if we want to airdrop, we should always airdrop from the treasury and never airdrop from the other path, if you got me. I think, personally.
Yes.
I think that's what makes most sense, right? For panels and DVMs and airdropping them, it's a little bit different, because they are marked if they are in a pack. Yep. So it doesn't make so much sense for them on doing that. But actually, just always saying that airdrops of packs should always come from a treasury is not a bad show.
Yep.
It's not public, it's storage, but it doesn't matter, right? It's a path classifier.
And now we did the actual postmortem, which is perfect, because then we don't have to do it afterwards. And thanks for the question, Thomas. And then I think that's it. We have concrete plans. I think for the next. I mean, the thing is that it's the first time. Why this never happened before is because it's the first time we're running an airdrop during a drop.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we have this airdrop Thursday process, and we are dropping on the Thursdays as well. So we kind of had the perfect storm. It could have been like, you would have airdropped on a Thursday, we would have dropped on Friday, then we would have noticed the issue and fixed it before going live, or you would have airdropped we would have dropped on Wednesday and you would have airdropped on Thursday and we would have never found the issue. So it's kind of anyway, it's not a big deal. I think it's not a big deal, and we sold 20 packs. So but it was a really cool engineering problem, I think.
Sorry to be a pain in the ass, but my follow-up question is, would it be possible to have like a integrity check tool like what we did now, but it just checks if everything is fine. Because we can then always do this before we prepare everything, we run this, and then we say, okay, now it's really open. Instead of, it's just to be safe for us, because then we can, before we go live, we can say, oh, we found something before.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. So what I would say there is that you actually say, and go and check all the packs that can be reserved and check that they are actually there. Go and check that all the DVMs that they claim they have are actually in the correct spot, just so you know, right, that this is fine.
Yeah, you don't have to solve anything. It's just, okay, there's no problem. And then if it's a problem...
Just, this is just create a Jira, right? And
that
is important. So
you said select. How would you do that? Sorry, I missed that. I was too busy.
So let's say you select all the packs that are eligible for
right, and you check the connection,
right?
Yeah.
Everything that could be reserved. And you just check that they are in the path where you expect them to be.
Yeah. So
we have
So we have in step one, we have built we have that code. We didn't do the programmatic part, but we wrote the script called get era pack NFT, which checks that the NFT is there in the collection that you're saying it's there.
Yeah.
So by tweaking that a little bit and coding that in Go to have the query the database and then programmatically do this, then you would be able to do this. No problem. So cool. So it's completely doable. It's not that hard. We can create a Jira. And we can,
or you can just submit a PR if you want to. And the next step then, after you have selected all the packs,
Adil wants to.
It's then to get all the items that are in those packs. So just check that they are where you expect them to be.
True. Plus, go one hop further and get the era NFTs or era panel in those packs. And check they are in the collection thing.
I would actually add one more step here. And that is check that it's only those items that can be reserved that is in that path that you wrote above in the additional step.
And the items that can be reserved that are in the collection.
Yeah, because that means that when you count how many are available on chain, it is the same amount that you can reserve before you start so the database and the chain is in sync right before that's basically what you're saying, Thomas, is you're checking that the database and the chain are in sync before you start to draw.
Yeah, just that.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, there can always be other errors that with this check is not enough, but at least it's some check that we can try to do generic way.
Yeah,
right.
I think these are good notes in a postmortem, good action points.
Nice. Good job, guys. Cool. Then that's gonna be it. Thanks, everyone, and see you later.
Will you announce it on some channels so everybody is happy?
Yeah, exactly. I think Adil
It's already communicated.
Adil already communicated.
Okay, great.
And yeah, we're good.
Congratulations, guys.
Yes, thanks for joining. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.